hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to a special episode of Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School. We break down the most controversial issues, the most contested topics, the most engaged debates going on in the world today. And tonight is no different. Even though I stumbled a little bit, the truth is still here, which is that this is a big night. And I couldn't leave y'all alone without no analysis. And so here we go, man. It's a big night. 2025 election night results are coming in big time, and we got a lot of results. We got a lot of information coming in bit by bit. One of the most contested races of the year, one of the most interesting and engaging and engaged elections of the year has been going on. And of course is the race between Zohran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Lewa. We have other big races. Obviously, the gubernatorial race in New Jersey is big. With Mikey Sherrill has just won. That's a big deal. And in fact, we're going to take you really fast to C-SPAN, where you can see just a little taste of the election results. Let's go.
So serving you is worth any tough fight I have to take on, and I am incredibly honored to be your next governor. When I was 18, I raised my hand and I swore to defend the Constitution. And that moment defines me. It taught me that leadership means carrying the weight of other people's hopes, standing firm when it's easier to bend, and always putting the common good above personal gain. And I know how hard it can be to serve in these times. And I just got a call from Jack Chittarelli, and I want to recognize him for stepping up. And all of you know, I love our history, and our state motto has always stuck with me. In 1777, New Jersey was one of the first states to choose a motto. Anybody? Liberty and prosperity. I'm going to get some more civics education going. We'll get that known by all. But it was a demand for freedom from oppression and a commitment to creating better opportunity and a better future. That idea has defined us for almost 250 years. We fought for liberty at the crossroads of the American Revolution, turning the tide for our young nation at the battles of Trenton and Princeton. We offered prosperity as we built the nation during the Industrial Revolution. We've been the cradle of scientific discovery, inventing everything from the light bulb to the laser. Liberty and prosperity. I've seen the genius in that motto over the last year because both are essential in our democracy. And as the president is backing away from this ideal, cutting SNAP, ripping away health care, terminating Gateway, we here in New Jersey are bound to fight for a different future for our children. We see how clearly important liberty is. We know that no one in our great state is safe when our neighbors are targeted, ignoring the law and the Constitution. But prosperity is equally essential. Liberty alone is not enough if the government makes it impossible for you to feed your family, to get a good education, or to get a good job. So in this country, that shouldn't be too much to ask. But right now, all of it seems at risk. Governors have never mattered more. And in this state, I am determined to build prosperity for all of our citizens. And I've heard from thousands of you about what liberty and prosperity mean to you, what it's going to take for your family to thrive. So I hear you, Newark. I'm going to work with communities from the ground up so all of our
stay with her for just one more minute. We're going to get back, talk about Mamdani, his big win. And of course, when that comes up, you know we're going to be on it. But a big win in this race. And of course, I want to make sure you don't miss any of this thing right here.
Down your utility costs. I hear you, Westfield, so I'm going to make sure our kids are safe online and schools have the resources they need to address the mental health crisis. I hear you, Jersey City, so I'm going to hold government accountable, balancing individual liberty with collective responsibility, ensuring people are safe, healthy, educated, and free to pursue their dreams. I hear you, New Jersey. Good government doesn't just manage problems, it solves them. So I'm going to continue to listen and work with you to move our state forward, because I have learned so much as I've traveled our state. Our innovations, our businesses, our inventors and entrepreneurs have amazed me, but it's the people that have left the biggest mark, especially those who are fighting for prosperity for their entire communities. I was moved during my block walk in Trenton with Shanique as she spoke so passionately about the promise of her city and her neighbors despite the challenges. I love the group of young men from Monroe who've been hard at work on this campaign. They want a seat at the table and they're ready to fight for their future. The little girls who come up to me to say that they're going to be a governor or they're going to be a president. It reminds me of my own belief that anything was possible. Akeem's team, who worked their butts off, knocked over 60,000 doors. Akeem told me these are not the kids who will succeed in Trump's vision of this country, but they will in mine. The men and women in labor. Union jobs at a time when our economy is set up to make it harder and harder for working people. You know what? They don't just fight for their brothers and sisters in labor. They fight for all of us. For working families everywhere, so everyone has a shot. So thank you. Thank you to each and every person here tonight and across the state who's worked hard over the last year. Thanks to the thousands of volunteers who made millions of calls, texts, and canvases, to everyone who's ready to stand and demand a better future for our kids and our families. To my running mate, Dr. Dale Caldwell. You've already served our state so well, and I'm proud to have you by my side as we embark upon this new chapter for New Jersey. To my team, who put together a campaign the likes of this state has never seen, and helped in our efforts to create a great future for New Jersey. And thanks to my family. Who put up with missed soccer games, lacrosse games, football games, volleyball games, swim meets, and rugby games.
It's a lot of stuff.
All to put up with this, so thank you. And a special thanks to my husband, Jason. Through 4 kids, 2 dogs, a hamster, numerous goldfish, 5 campaigns, an insurrection, and 2 impeachments, you have been a truly amazing partner. So thank you to everyone who's joined me in fighting for a better future. I know these are tough times. I know not everyone voted for me, but I'm working for everyone. Every single one of you. When we all do better, we all do better. So tomorrow begins a new day. And at each new day in New Jersey, the sun rises over the Statue of Liberty, a daily reminder of her promise. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. She declares that her lamp lights the path to the golden door. That golden door is New Jersey. It always has been. And that expectation is well deserved, especially after this election, where we chose, we're going to follow Lady Liberty's beacon. We're not going to give in to our darker impulses. Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings. We take oaths to a constitution, not a king. We've chosen liberty, the very foundation of democracy, and we've chosen prosperity necessary to create opportunity for all. So New Jersey,
a lot of anti-Trump in there. Good stuff.
the future is now. Roll up your sleeves, let your passion flow. The country we carry in our hearts is waiting. Thank you, New Jersey.
That is Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill from the great state, or the state, I don't know if it's great, of New Jersey. That's the Philly in me talking. As you just saw, Mikey Sherrill won her race, the gubernatorial race in New Jersey, the most expensive race in state history, and one of the most expensive races in the country this year. She won with 56.4% of the vote as of now. Some big numbers coming in. She seemed to really win in the places she was expected to win: Newark, Trenton, Atlantic City, basically South Jersey, and then these urban spaces. And for her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, to win, he really had to come up with sizable chunks of northern North Jersey that would otherwise not go to him, meaning like Livingston, New Jersey would have to come up big. Short Hills, New Jersey would have to come up big. They didn't. And instead he won much closer to the 60% margin that many people were predicting, as opposed to some of the more conservative people who warned, hey, this could be a tight race. This could get down to the 5 or 6 point range. It did not. Sherrill winning is a big deal. There's a lot of stuff on the statewide ballot and the statewide initiatives that are in play that really require a Democratic governor to push back against, or a Republican governor to advance. She was adamant about pushing against many of Trump's policies at the state level. And this seems to be a referendum on, at least for New Jersey, on Donald Trump. But anyway, there are other races we have to think about. There is the Virginia race. The Virginia race, that's a big one. Abigail Spanberger, former Virginia Congresswoman, won against Winsome Earl Sayers, who was a Republican, and the current lieutenant governor. And it was a mollywhopping. It was a mollywhopping. And you're talking about 56.9%, very similar to what we saw in New Jersey, to Earl Sayers' 42.9%. There's a lot of factors there. One thing to note, in the combined 93 counties and cities that have reported most of their votes, Spanberger improved on Kamala Harris's 2024 margins in 89 of them. Just 4 voted more Republican in this election. That means, I mean, that says something about Kamala Harris, but it also says something about how they saw Spanberger. This was a big win for Virginia. Virginia's Attorney General Jay Jones also won by a much closer margin against the incumbent Jason Miyares. So that's a big one. Of course, as we've been talking about, New York City mayoralty has been decided. Assemblyman and now Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, the progressive Democratic Socialist, went against Andrew Cuomo. who's running as an independent, and Curtis Lewa, the actual Republican on the ballot, and he won with over 50% of the vote. In some ways, I mean, that was projected to go as high as 60% as well, or as low as a nail biter, 3-4%. It didn't seem to play out that way. When you look in most counties, he was able to get over the 50% mark, at least as of maybe 20 minutes ago. So we'll see. We'll continue to watch it to see what the final results are. But yes, he won. Zohran Mamdani is the 111th mayor-elect of the great city of Nueva York. He won big. We're, of course, waiting for his speech as well. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be one of them ones, as the kids say. Let's see what other races we have coming in here. New York City general election, again, 50.3%. He's gotten over 1 million votes already. Eric Adams even came in with 6,000 votes. He's still technically on the ballot. We're waiting for California. The polls close at 11 o'clock. There we'll see something interesting, I imagine. Figuring out what the redistricting initiative or ballot measure will look like in the final analysis. Hopefully people are out there voting for Proposition 50. There are debates about that. Obviously, there are conversations to be had about what that means long term. Texas obviously made a decision to redistrict in ways that shrunk Democratic control. California, in many ways, is clapping back with their own redistricting. Is that a long-term sustainable plan for justice in this country and voting rights? No. But something's got to give. Something has to give. But these are the big ones. We got comments coming in all over the place here. I'm seeing people. Let's go New York. The people win tonight. Rennie Tay says, shout out to Zohran, man. He definitely is pushing the needle. This is a win for all tenants in New York and public options in general. This is a big deal for sure. Zohran Mamdani ran on a platform of lowering rent or stopping rent from going up. He ran on a platform of free public buses. He ran on a platform of opening grocery stores. He ran on a platform of progressive politics. And it seems that the people responded affirmatively. It seems that the people responded affirmatively. He won the election, and he won with over 50% of the vote as of right now. Again, we'll see what the final numbers are. But with 89% of the vote, he's at 50.3%. And he's won pretty handily in a lot of places. We're waiting on Staten Island to come in. But there's just no path to victory for the others. So it's done. It's done. No mountain time stuff coming in. So we're going to wait for California for Proposition 50 once again. It will be interesting to see. And again, we're waiting on Mamdani. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Woo. Let's see. Somebody said we already know who Staten Island voted for. Yep. Mamdani won big. This is a huge deal. Ben Fresh said affordability was huge. It speaks to what everyone is struggling with. Yes, this is also a referendum on Trump's policies and maybe on the U.S. economy right now. This is a big deal, y'all. Again, I can't overstate how big a deal this is. We got Zane718 coming in with the super chat, and feel free to drop them super chats. And y'all, he said, Mabruk for Zohran. When good candidates run, people will have a reason to vote. You hope that that's what happens, right? And I think you're right. I agree with you 100%. But you hope that's what happens. Democrats can look at this and say, look, we ran a progressive. We ran on a progressive platform. And it worked. Or they could decide that New York is what do you call it? Like a what's the word I'm looking for? That it's a exception. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that New York is exceptional. and that we shouldn't run like that. You're going to run more Mikey Sherrills. You're going to run more Zohran Mamdanis. That's the question. That is the question. And it seems unclear what the Democratic vision is, but based on the fact that Chuck Schumer has not didn't even say he's voting for him, that it took Hakeem Jeffries to the very last minute, that Hillary Clinton wouldn't say who she would vote for in the New York race if she were a voter in New York. Like, these are things that suggest that they're running from Mamdani tactically, strategically, that they don't want to say his name. That's not a good sign. You already forgot what they did to Bernie. Exactly. So don't be optimistic that this is going to be the path moving forward for Democrats. It's not clear that it will be. And in fact, what is this? Selling his properties? Don't do that to my man. Shout out to Descendant for gifting a membership too. It's not unclear, or rather, it's not clear that this is the path forward for Democrats. That's all I'm gonna say right now. The Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, is something that people should be moving toward, but instead they're running from it, and running from it is, again, unwise. Shout out to MF for the super thanks. The idea that the old guard Democrats need to move over is exactly the point, Richard Austin, but they're not going to. I mean, Nancy Pelosi just said she's not going to pursue re-election, but these other dyed-in-the-wool Democrats are there, and the newer guard, the Hakeem Jeffries of the world, who is the sort of heir apparent for the Democratic Party, is making it very clear that it's business as usual. That it's business as usual. What happens in New York, we'll see. Primary. I'm talking to folk who are saying some big dogs are getting primaried. I've been talking behind the scenes to some folk who say the big dogs in some places like New York City are going to get primaried, or at least there's going to be an effort to. So something's got to give. The mayor of New York is a democratic socialist immigrant Muslim from South Asia. What are we talking about? Victory is possible. Vote your hopes, not your fears, as Jesse Jackson taught us a long time ago. Rennie asked a really interesting question. How should one understand the Mamdani supporter who also voted for Trump? Is purely economic, largely? How should we analyze this? I mean, that is a very interesting, we start drawing concentric circles here. It's a very interesting map to lay out in terms of what this looks like and why it looks that way. We're going to keep our eye out for Mamdani once again. We got to keep our eye out for Mamdani as he comes on to do his elections, his victory speech very, very soon. By the way, it looks like Governor McGreevey, former Governor McGreevey, James McGreevey, might be losing his race as for mayor of Jersey City. Alhamdulillah. We'll see, though. We'll continue to follow that and see what happens. There's a President Trump approval poll, by the way, then I'll come back to Mamdani, that says 55% right now of people disapprove of Trump, 45% approve. So again, some of this is a referendum on Trump. But to your question, Remy, which I think is an interesting one, the Mamdani support. So the Mamdani supporter who also voted for Trump could be for a few reasons. Some of that was a referendum on Kamala Harris in particular in the Biden-Harris administration. Sometimes people want to change direction, and sometimes people just want to change drivers, right? The Biden-Harris economy was one that people weren't happy with. Biden-Harris foreign policy was something that people were not happy with. And so some people said, look, even if Trump isn't radically different, obviously Trump's not anti-Zionist, obviously Trump is not a free market fundamentalist, all these things, right? People wanted a new driver. And so those people, when given the opportunity to vote for someone else, are just going to do it. But then with Mamdani, they said, hey, we want Eric, we need to get rid of Eric Adams. We also need a new driver in New York. He ain't it. But now we have the opportunity for a new direction as well. So we're not just going to go Cuomo, we're going to go Mamdani. To your point, that's about the economy. That's about saying we're not happy with the status quo. And this isn't the first time that we've seen this. Think about in 2016, when we had people voting for Bernie and Donald Trump. Sometimes it's anti-government. Sometimes it's we need a radical shift in the status quo, because ideologically it doesn't align per se, but it's about saying that the current status quo isn't working. Now, some people were refusing to vote for Biden Harris because they were responsible for enabling Israel during the genocide after October 7th. And so people said, I'm just not voting Biden Harris, even though Trump obviously isn't better on Israel Palestine. They were like, we can't vote for genocide. And we think that Trump will, at least as a non-interventionist, may have a different perspective. But again, with Mamdani, they have an opportunity to take it a step further. Obviously, the mayor of New York doesn't affect foreign policy, but the fact that he took an anti-Zionist position and stayed 10 toes on it makes him more desirable. So there are multiple points of contact that could make someone take that position. Jalen Davis says, great wins across the board. Now is the hard part. The corporate Democrats must be defeated. Hear, hear. Queens flip a tax benefit for the JBP. I can't answer that. That'd be a Joe Budden question, but probably. Shout out to my brother Queens Flip. Richard Austin said, you just dropped something in there. I appreciate for you. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. How important is it for Zohran to get over 50%? It's an interesting question. If we're talking about a mandate, I say it is. First of all, I think he's going to get over 50%. Let me start there. I think he's going to get over 50%. But I think it's about getting a mandate here. It's about being able to say the New Yorkers wanted this. When Donald Trump doesn't get the mandate the first time, or at least the popular vote, let me say it like that, doesn't get the popular vote, there was always an asterisk in the minds of many observers. Like, yeah, but most people didn't want him. Can't make that case this time. Similarly, the man's got over 1 million votes, Zohran Mamdani, but having the opportunity to say, hey, more than half of New Yorkers want me, the majority wanted me, it means you got a mandate. A technical, obviously you want 60%, right? Which is what I was hoping he was going to get. But look, over 50 says, look, most of the people wanted me. You don't want him walking into a place in a situation where you can say most New Yorkers did not want him. Because then people start saying, well, what if Sliwa had left the race? Yada, 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 which isn't the case. The powerful NYPD union is going to whip Mamdani into submission. Look, I don't think that's the case. And I don't want to get too local here because there's other races that we need to talk about. But obviously, interestingly enough, the New York mayoralty seems to be the biggest race as opposed to the governor of Virginia or the governor of New Jersey. But that says a lot about New York and where we are as a country. Anyway, if Mamdani is not taking a radical position on policing, he's not saying defund, he's not saying abolish. I don't know if he'll be whipped into submission. I think he may be able. He'll be able to take a principled, reasonable position. And let's keep in mind, the last mayor, the current mayor, Eric Adams, was a cop. So all of it is a step forward. Look, I don't have unrealistic expectations for Zohran Mamdani. I just don't. I don't have unrealistic expectations. I have expectations, but not unrealistic ones. He's going to be progressive. He's going to advance some good policies. He's going to try to create space for humane options and alternatives. But he's not trying to usher in the revolution. So if things go the way we hope, you'll see a better New York. You'll see a more affordable New York. You'll see a safer New York. But please don't expect a perfect New York. Dallas Rodriguez writes in and says, Dr. Hill, based on tonight, what are your projections for the midterm elections next year? Or do you think tonight doesn't affect the national elections next year? They're predictors of the national midterm elections for sure. People are repudiating the status quo. People are willing to trust a liberal vision. And in some places like New York City, they're willing to trust a progressive vision. If in California, this Proposition 50 passes, you'll see that Democrats and liberals are fighting back. This all matters. Does that guarantee a Democratic victory? No. But here's what gives you hope if you're a Democrat. If you're a Democrat, you're thinking midterm elections are usually when voters show that they don't like super majorities, right? It's where they show that they don't want the House, the Senate, and the executive branch to all be controlled by the same people. They don't want too much of a stranglehold by one political party. And so typically when the balance of power is one way, these elections push it the other way. And so that and the fact that Trump's approval ratings aren't super high among all voters, that many people are still struggling with economic issues, I think you're going to see something different. I think the midterms are good, are signs of hope or sights of hope and possibility for the left or for the Democrats. That said, a year is a long time and a lot can happen. So please don't start getting cocky. Do the work. That would be my advice to Democrats. Eric McCormick writes in and says, thoroughly enjoyed your book, Seen and Unseen. Oh, thank you. I'm glad your people are reading that. Wishing you all the best, Dr. Hill. Looking forward to future projects. Thank you. And by the way, after we do this coverage, we will be on Patreon exclusively with more extended analysis, family. This work that we do is happening because of Patreon. So please, family, please sign up for Patreon. Sign up for Patreon. I can't say that anymore clearly, unequivocally. Join me on Patreon. Scan that QR code that's right up there and sign up for Patreon right now at the supporter level or higher. You can do that through the QR code that's up there, or you can do it through what's down there, which is going to patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official. But family, if you want to support this work, if you want to support Night School, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support independent journalism, grassroots journalism, please, right now, before we jump to this concession speech from Andrew Cuomo, please jump to Patreon. Patreon. I can't say that enough, family. All right. Historic Night Chrome Chinchilla says, God indeed has plans prepared. Look, I don't know if God has plans prepared, but I know that voters need to have plans prepared. That means organize, vote, organize, vote, organize, vote. That's what this means. Jinanana says, peace fam, long time no see. Yeah, man. That you worked up for that Mamdani. We see people worked up for Mamdani. That's a big deal. People ask what the Cash App is. If you want to hit me on Cash App, check this. It's at MLHTV, but you can also, it's also scrolling at the bottom here, MLHTV. You also see Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle underneath. If you want to send a Cash App, we appreciate that. Hold his feet to the fire if you promise. Get ready for hot feet. That's it. And whoever his is, the answer is the same. Everybody's feet have to be held to the fire, including Mamdani. We cannot allow Mamdani to be somebody who gets a free pass because he said the right thing is running for office. He needs to be held accountable. He needs to be made better. Great politicians are made, right? Great politicians are made. They're not born, and they're made through resistance. They're made through struggle. They're made through agitation. Pastor Joy, I'm glad I got my daddy playing your head. Some of the old heads knew what I was doing. Some of the youngest didn't get it. But yeah, every time when he wins, you know his victory speech. He got to be up in that joint like Mamdani, Mamdani, Mamdani. How could you not? How could you not? Yo, Anthony DeLeon, don't do this. You just gave me chills, man. He said he can't be the next Fetterman. Imagine. I mean, he won't be the next Fetterman because no one could be that trash. But this is the point. People thought Fetterman was that dude. He wore hoodies. He seemed cool. He seemed outside the beaten path. And he's turned out to be basically a Republican. We cannot allow that to happen again. We got to hold these people accountable. People say, well done, Mamdani from the UK. But let's also remember, this dude is 34 years old. He's 34. And the mayor of New York City. You know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy that is? He's a special dude, man. He's a special dude. Somebody said running after black men as mayor. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I didn't love the fact black mayors just don't get 2 terms in New York City. I mean, if you think about Dinkins in 85 and now Eric Adams here, different circumstances. And look, I'd rather have him die than Eric Adams any day. I don't want to be this isn't a identity politics thing for me, but it is interesting to see who gets a chance to do a second term and who doesn't. Proudly on Mark's Patreon too. Let's go, fam. Support indie black media. Thank you for everything you do, Mark. Thank you, April Silver. I appreciate you. I love you. And make sure y'all check out her show on Saturdays as well. It's important to check out Ascending, to check out Night School, to check out all the stuff, family. But if you get a moment, please sign up for that Patreon. As she said, the QR code is right there. Down here is the other thing. Where is it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's up here somewhere. I'm old, man. There we go. Scan the QR code or go to Marc Lamont Hill Official and get the extended analysis. We're going to be talking about it. Oh, thank you. Beatriz for Amor said just subscribed on Patreon. Thank you. I appreciate you. Everybody, please follow Beatriz and sign up for the Patreon at the level of supporter, family, producer, etc. I love all of it. I'm grateful. Rennie said, I'm glad Eric Adams didn't get his second chance. Yo, me too, family. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want Eric Adams before he ran. I didn't want Eric Adams when he won. I don't want Eric Adams now. But there is something interesting about how most people get a second chance, a second term in New York. Eric Adams did not. We've had worse mayors who got more terms. Somebody said that the QR code is not working. If the QR code isn't working, then just go to patreon.com, Marc Lamont Hill Official. Patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill Official. Henry, thank you for letting me know. Somebody said why Obama didn't endorse Mamdani. Now, I do think it's important to note that according to Obama's office and according to his history, technically Obama does not endorse local races. He doesn't involve himself in local races, and most presidents don't, to be honest. He's done Senate seats and gubernatorial races, executive branches for the state, for the state level, and that's been kind of it. So it's not uncommon. Let me just show a little clip of our sister here, Winsome Earl Sears, who's offering a concession speech in New Jersey. Check this out.
Now, I have to tell you, I am like everyone. I wanted to wait until every single ballot was counted. It's just because I have faith. And I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait because I know that God had called me for this purpose. And so remember now that God has called prophets. And sometimes the prophets were even beaten and some of them were killed. And so we understand that victory to the Lord looks a lot different than what we think of as victory. Victory starts with obedience. Obedience. Never forget that. So, before I say anything else, although I've said everything, I want to thank you because you believed in me, you who voted for me and who worked so hard to make our dream for Virginia come true. I still want to continue to thank God for this journey and his grace that brought me again to this wonderful country, this wonderful Commonwealth. And a special gratitude goes to my family, my wonderful husband of 39 years, and my wonderful children, Janelle and Katja.
Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, the Republican candidate for governor in 2025, suffering a defeat tonight to Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic candidate there, the former congresswoman, former CIA agent.
She lost. And look, she was humble. She was principled in her conversation, in her concession. Shout out to her for being dignified, but I'm glad she lost as well, man. I don't care if you're black, white, red, yellow, man. If you don't represent my interests, I'm not voting for you. I'm not supporting you. Right. I love y'all comments, yo. Y'all on it tonight, man. I love y'all, man. I love being with y'all on nights like this, man. It's always dope. It's always dope, man. Other thoughts, comments coming in as we wait. Here's Andrew Cuomo coming in. The loser himself. What did my man say? Tapping fannies and killing grannies. Let's get to it.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're taking my time. You're taking my time. First, let me. I love you too. I love you too. Let me acknowledge part of my special campaign team. We have from the right, Telef Lundaval, the new son-in-law, husband of Mariah. We have Mariah, Cara, Michaela. I want to thank our campaign chairman, Bill Mulrow, our great campaign manager, Greg Goldner. I want to thank Mayor Adams, who stepped out of the race to make us more competitive, and that was a very gracious thing to do. I want to thank Mayor Bloomberg, who gave us his support, Governor David Patterson, all the unions. And I am blessed. I am blessed to have the people in this room. You have been a phenomenal team, great friends. You are superstars. Even more, you are New York patriots. And I am proud of you. This campaign was the right fight to wage. And I am proud of what we did and what we did together. This campaign was to contest the philosophies that are shaping the Democratic Party, the future of this city, and the future of this country.
That's right. That's right. Make it sound like this is a righteous ideological struggle, not a desperate grab for power and reclaiming your personal legacy.
Transcended normal partisan politics. It brought together Democrats and Republicans and independents, joined by the simple fact that their first allegiance is as citizens of New York City. $2 million voters, the largest number in modern political history, cared enough to show up in a municipal election. And 42% voted for us on an independent line. That is the highest percentage in modern history. Ironically, it is just higher than when Mario Cuomo got 40% on an independent line against Ed Koch in 1977. It's also important to note that almost half of New Yorkers did not vote to support a government agenda that makes promises that we know cannot be met.
This is why we talked about the mandate getting more than 50%.
Economy of jobs, of opportunity, of entrepreneurship. That's what New York is, and that's what New York must remain. We are a nation of laws, and we believe in law and order, and we need the police to keep society safe. We will not
We don't.
make the
And also, that's a straw man.
NYPD the enemy. We cherish our diversity, and we have no tolerance for discrimination of any kind by race, religion, sexual orientation, or creed. And we will not tolerate any behavior that fans the flames of anti-Semitism or diverse
What a
attacks.
disgusting confession. Are you law? You don't have to do this anymore.
Our strength is our unity. Black, white, brown, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist. We are one. We are the family of New York. We believe in interconnection and mutuality and codependence. And you attack one of us, you attack all of us. That is what it means to be a New Yorker. No one and nothing will ever divide us.
There's the guy running on an Islamophobic platform, and xenophobic platform.
And this campaign was necessary to make that point. A caution flag that we are heading down a dangerous, dangerous road. Well, we made that point, and they heard us, and we will hold them to it. Also, my friends, feel proud because we accomplished the two important New York characteristics. We got up off the mat after the primary, and we made it a real race when the media had already commenced the coronation.
Or you failed to get behind your party's candidate and instead tried to undermine him as a third-party candidate, conspiring with the current
because we
mayor.
fought our hearts out and we left it all on the field.
I love how he makes it sound like it's some selfless gesture and not the most selfish, self-aggrandizing, narcissistic.
Congratulations to Zoran Mamdani.
Still fucking his name up.
No,
Y'all are booing the winner. What kind of...
no,
Ah.
that is not right. That is not right, and that is not us. That is not us. Tonight was their night, and as they start to transition to government, we will all help any way we can because we need our New York City government to work. We want it to work for all New Yorkers because our city is the greatest city in the world, and we will unite for New York City because we love New York City. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you. I love you for the fight you made, for the soul that you showed, and the example that you set. New York City heard us, and we will be the better for it. Thank you, and God bless you.
If I was Jay-Z, I would rule out them using that song.
Andrew Cuomo.
That is one of the worst concession speeches I've ever heard in my life. He basically said, I had to run to protect Jews. He's just reinforcing the narrative that there was something anti-Semitic about Zohran Mamdani's campaign. He said that he had to step in to protect. If you hurt one of us, you hurt all of us. What are we talking about? You ran because your career is in the toilet. Andrew Cuomo, you ran because you got forced out of the governorship. You went from the highest of heights during the pandemic to mired in scandal. And then you thought you could recover your career by getting an easy win by winning the mayor of New York, recovering your career, and then ascending again. But guess what? You lost again to Zohran Mamdani. And you tried to leverage the Zionist sentiment and the Zionist lobby to defeat Mamdani by chasing him with allegations and accusations of anti-Semitism, even though there was no evidence of such a thing. And you still lost. And you're trying to make it seem as if this was a righteous run, that you did this for the people, that you did this for America, that you did this for New York, that you did this for Jews. You did this for Andrew Cuomo. Let's be honest here. And they had enough. New York had enough. People like Jermaine Johnson here, who said, BK resident, me and my wife voted for Mamdani today, took our 5-year-old daughter. Too exciting, but we must keep tempered realistic expectations. But you went out there to vote because you wanted something different. Cuomo ain't it. Cuomo is the status quo in every way imaginable. And yes, democratic socialism is what's on deck. And y'all hope y'all understand that that ain't nothing to be scared of. That ain't nothing to be scared of. I can't wait for Zohodan's campaign, his acceptance speech. It's coming soon, very, very soon. I'm looking at his campaign headquarters right now. I'm looking live at his campaign headquarters, and I see a sea of people, red, yellow, black, and white. As Jesse said, they all precious in God's sight. I see Haitian flags flying. I see keffiyeh. I see everything you'd want to see at a victory party. And they're waiting to hear from their new mayor. In the meantime, we got we got a word from y'all's forever president, as y'all like to call him, Barack Hussein Obama, who said, congratulations to all the Democratic candidates who won tonight. It's a reminder that when we come together around strong, forward-looking leaders who care about the issues that matter, we can win. We've still got plenty of work to do, but the future looks a little bit brighter. I'm not mad at that statement, although I wonder if he'll say Mamdani's name. Again, he called him, he congratulated him on what looked like a victorious campaign. He seemed excited by him, but he would not say that he wants him to win. I don't understand Democratic leadership. Obama, Clinton, Schumer, Jeffries, Pelosi. Nobody wants to say Mamdani's name. It's not about Mamdani for me, per se. It's about the fact that y'all refuse to endorse maybe the most popular Democrat in America right now, damn near, other than maybe Gavin Newsom and Obama, right? I mean, what are we talking about? He endorsed the VA candidate, yes, but that was a governor's race. Again, the narrative is that presidents endorse governors and national elections, not mayoral elections, right? I get it, although I've seen it happen a lot. Obama says that ain't what he does, but I want to be fair to him in terms of what he has said. But it seems awful fishy to me. It seems awful fishy to me. But we're going to get this Mamdani campaign coming up soon. Soon come this Mamdani campaign. 50.3, with 90% of the votes in, Mamdani has 50.3% of the vote. He's got over 1 million votes, 1,026,000 votes. That is a good number. It looks like I think he's going to stay over 50%, which is important because as you saw, and I warned y'all about this, what's the first thing that Andrew Cuomo goes to? Basically saying, half of New York didn't want this, making it seem as if he doesn't have a mandate. They're always trying to frame Mamdani as anti-democratic, as if there's a way that he's almost cheating to do this. And over 50% is absolutely a mandate. And that's why it's important for him to win, not with 49% with a plurality, but to win with a majority. Mark, I have an honest question. Which do you think is more important, mutual aid and direct action or electoral politics? I don't like to choose. I know it's going to sound like a non-answer, but I think that's part of the way that we go wrong, is thinking that we have to make that decision, make that choice, make that distinction between the two. I think that voting is a tactic. Voting is a strategy. And it's a tactic and strategy that doesn't get you free by itself, right? You don't vote your way to liberation. No one's ever voted their way to liberation. You have to resist. You have to organize. You have to strategize. But it's a key, But mutual aid and direct action is also a key, because in between those 4 years of presidential elections or mayoral elections or gubernatorial elections, or those annual or biannual, legislative races or whatever the thing might be, there's life happens. Politics happens. Politics isn't just what happens in the voting booth. So we have to organize, but we also have to understand that the political arena isn't the only way that we can support each other. We need mutual aid. We need direct action. We need to support each other. We need to build institutions. We need to do all of it. So it's not either or, but rather in the Africana tradition, it's both and. It's really that simple for me. That's the point. We're getting closer and closer to a Mamdani victory speech. Obviously, 90% of the vote in now. He can certainly do it without a problem. Curtis Lee was already given his concession speech. I didn't clip to it, but I'd like y'all to see it soon. I'll show it to you in a second. But I don't want to miss Mamdani. So we're going to keep it here until the mayor-elect does his thing. It's coming up soon, though. All the cameras on the pool feed and, the national outlets all use the same cameras. It's a pool, we call it a pool feed. It's all there. And it's coming very, 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 very soon. So I don't want to pull away from it too soon. But that is the update that Mamdani's coming to the stage right now. Polls in California close in 3 minutes, and we'll start to see some feedback, some results there. We've seen other ballot initiatives in places like Maine around new voting restrictions. For example, they were voted down 61% to 38%. Again, Mamdani with 50.4% with enough, I think 90%, 91%, with enough info to know that the race is over. We got Virginia Attorney General Jay Jones, a Democrat. He beat the incumbent. Wow, he beat the incumbent with a little more than 95% of the votes in. He beat Miyares. He beat him by 5.6%. The reason why I'm hesitating, y'all, to be clear, is because Jay Jones was not supposed to have a tight race. He was supposed to destroy Jason Miyares, but then we found that Jay Jones had written some very violent texts. And those violent texts, which were from 3 years ago, they made the race tighten. And suddenly he went from a can't miss candidate to I don't know, but he still pulled it out. Again, Mikey Sherrill won 56% of the vote. She is the governor-elect now of New Jersey. Jack Ciattarelli, who has run multiple times before and lost, made this a little more of a race, and he had Donald Trump's endorsement this time, but he still lost. Now, here's what's interesting about New Jersey. I just want to give you a little piece of New Jersey fact while we wait. Among the New Jersey counties that have reported most of their votes so far, all have voted more Democratic than they did in the 2024 presidential race. Again, that could mean that Trump is special and makes people vote outside of character, or it could mean that people are flipping back because they're not happy. Just a thought. Just a thought. But we'll stay with that. We're waiting for Mamdani to come through. We're all very, very excited. I'm looking here for some comments. Just drop in. If you got any comments, drop in a super chat, a super thanks, a super sticker, whatever you want. We'll talk about it. This is a funny. Somebody said smoking on a dick pic. Talking about Dick Cheney, who passed away today at the age of 84. Somebody said Dick Cheney was like, "Look, I cannot see Mamdani win. I'll just die." He did die the same day, the morning that Mamdani's about to win. We got 1 minute left to California. That's right, until California polls close. We'll see what happens with that Prop 50. We should know sooner than later. I think that it's going to be pretty resounding in California, but we'll see. Mike Brown said, Mamdani still got more votes than Cuomo and Sliwa can combine. Sliwa dropping out wouldn't have mattered. I agree. Somebody said Van Jones had the biggest scowl on his face when they called it from Mamdani. on CNN. I did not see that, so I cannot confirm that that's what happened. But that tracks. I'll just say that it tracks. I would not be shocked if that were the case. Let's see here. Maybe I can pull up. I may just pull up that Mikey. That Curtis Levo concession speech, because I'm sure it's good. What I'll do is I will. Let's see if I can pull it up for you. He conceded about an hour ago. I mean, obviously, there was he could have conceded last month. He's wearing his hat. He's got his okay, let's see here. It's a pretty long speech, but I will pull up. This is from ABC News.
Who came out to exercise their right to vote. We will be setting a new record. It hasn't been achieved since I was a young boy watching the election in 1969 of John Lindsay. Over 2 million voters. We need to applaud all New Yorkers because men have died in battle so that we have the right to vote. In this case, to choose our next mayor and other elected officials, and the precious right of free speech, which we need to preserve. The answer to hate speech is more free speech, and that's what we represent. But this has always been us versus them. This has always been us versus them. From the time I declared
that's
my
kind of the opposite of what you want to say.
The masters of
race is
the
over.
universe,
No, it's all of us.
the
Right?
billionaires,
Anyway,
decided that I should not have the right to represent all of you, to be the voice of the voiceless, the working class people who are the backbone of this city. So the billionaires and the insiders and the influencers continue to put the pressure on to say, Curtis, you don't have the right to run. We will determine who the next mayor is. And you remember what I told them. No, no, no. And then they bribed me as much as $10 million. And I'll never forget, my great wife Nancy was listening to that final call when a person said to me, come on, Curtis, everybody has a price. Well, guess what? We don't have a price.
maybe
You
you should
can't buy us, rent us, lease us. We are not for
buying it.
sale. We are the people. So we have a mayor-elect. Obviously, I wish him good luck because if he does well, we do well. But I will tell you this. We have spent 2 years organizing this movement. It's not just Republicans or Democrats or independents. It's animal lovers. It's people who've been disenfranchised. People who have been pushed to the side, whose voices have not been heard. The homeless, the emotionally disturbed, the veterans, the people who ride the subways. We've been with them each and every day. And we will not surrender. We will not retreat. We will not leave the city of New York. We will improve. We will not move.
This is
And let
Curtis
me
Levo,
warn
Republican
our new leader.
candidate for mayor of New York,
If you try to implement
longtime leader of the
socialism,
Guardian Angels.
if you try to render
Certified
our
crazy person.
police weak and impotent, if you forsake the people's public safety, we're not only organizing, but we are mobilizing, and we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemies, worst nightmare. always be united. We the people will always be united. That has been our quest from day one. Some of the most powerful people in the world mobilized to silence us and to tell people, don't vote for Curtis Lewa. Don't vote for you, the people. Vote for Andrew Cuomo. They tried to bribe me out of this
Points are
race.
being made.
The best thing I have in this entire world is my lovely wife, Nancy. Like so many other New Yorkers who dedicated her life to rescuing animals in distress. And yet, some of the most powerful people in the world made fun of Nancy and me for what we do. To care for animals, to care for people, that's the humanitarian thing to do. That's not political. That's what people should be doing for other people. So although the most powerful people in the world turned others against us, in this time where we could have saved the city, we will continue our mission. We're not leaving to Florida or Georgia or North Carolina or South Carolina, Texas or Tennessee. We stay, we fight for what we know is right.
Never surrender.
We improve, we don't move. This movement continues on in the subways, in the streets, in the neighborhoods, where all of you...
Sorry, y'all. We're about to move to the Mamdani campaign. We got some movement over there. I'm going to take you there right now so you can hear what they're talking about. He's not at the stage yet, but it is someone from his campaign speaking, as you can see, and we're going to get right to it. We're going to get right to it.
Emotional and powerful.
Looks like they're not there yet. They're just showing background, so we'll take it back to Curtis Lewa. Yes, Curtis is a he is the
Socialism
background
does
act.
not replace capitalism. Law and order must be imposed to keep our city safe and secure. We want everybody to know if you're young or old, you can stay in New York, you can prosper, you can live the American dream. I swear to all of you, on behalf of my wife Nancy, myself, and everybody who made this effort possible, we will continue on. They have not stopped us. They have not silenced our voices. We will prevail in honor of our parents and grandparents. The tradition of America will grow and prevail and prosper, and it will be we the people who will be successful. I want to thank my campaign team that has been magnificent, comprised of millennials and Gen Zers. James Perone, who's been our campaign manager. Outstanding. Some of the young men and women who are part of our social networking team, which, as you can see, has really put our message forward. I want to thank Rob Cole, who's been our senior campaign organizer. I want to thank the chairman and chairwomen of the 5 counties of New York City, the Republican leaders who stood by my side and did not bend or bow to the pressure that was coming from up high. And I hope by tonight's tally, we will see a number of our Republicans down ballot who are elected into office to be the checks and balances to the Democrats who are the majority. And I really hope that people will have heard us, and on the back of the ballot, the initiative and referendum will have voted no, no, no to the city of yes, which is going to destroy your residential quality of life. So understand this. This is a setback tonight, but this is what democracy is about. Yeah. One person, one vote. Amen. They may have won this battle, but we're going to continue the fight. We will not leave. We will fight, 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 and win at the ballot box in the future. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being there in support. Thank you to Governor George Pataki, who's been a supporter. And thank you to Rudy Giuliani, who stood by my side with George Pataki. Thank you for all coming.
All the winners. George, oh my God. He's digging in the crates for some of these victories, man. But anyway, that was Curtis Lewa. He is the second, well, really the first person to concede the race. Andrew Cuomo, who we already showed, conceded the race as well. For the mayoral race in New York City, we see that Zohran Mamdani, assemblyman, and now mayoral-elect, has won with right now over 50% of the vote. But the race is over, man. And you're seeing some strong words from both people. Neither person really offering much praise of Mamdani, but I gotta say his Curtis Lewa's speech was more inspiring than what we heard from I'm just checking to see if we have the mayoral-elect. It's more inspiring than what we saw from Cuomo, who basically talked about Zohran Mamdani as an outsider, as an enemy, somebody whose campaign needed to be fought. And let's not forget, Andrew Cuomo was one of the standard bearers of the Democratic Party, one of the national leaders of the party at one point, as recently as Donald Trump's first term. Once he lost to Mamdani, he should have stepped aside and endorsed him. And instead, he did something quite disappointing. He ran against him. He ran independent. He said, I don't care about what Democratic voters want. I'm going to run again. He and Eric Adams operated outside of conventional, not just wisdom, but ethics, party ethics. I'm not saying he did something unethical. I'm saying that's just not how you move when you're in a party. He put himself above the party. And look, I wouldn't have any allegiance to the Democrats either, because Democrats don't deserve a whole lot of allegiance. But what you should have is some sense of fairness within the party so that they can keep going. But anyway, that's my take. Anyway, y'all, write in your comments. We're waiting for Zohran Mamdani, who won big, the 34-year-old assemblyman with an Africana Studies degree from Bowdoin. You could not have written this out on paper. You could not have drawn this up and said that this would be the outcome, that a democratic socialist, 34 years old, lived in Uganda, South Asian, Muslim, Hindu mother. I mean, what are we talking about? This is something out of a movie. It's something out of a movie. And again, I don't want to overly romanticize this. We don't know what Mamdani is going to do, number one. And number two, people be changing when they get in office. I'll bullet the bunny. Say, and he ain't hard on the eyes either. Oh, somebody said Eric Adams isn't a real Democrat. I'm with you, but I'm not saying Cuomo should have had allegiance to Eric Adams. I'm saying he should have had it to Mamdani after he lost the race. Eric Adams didn't even run in the Democratic primary because he planned on running in the general. It's like everybody said, you know what? Fuck the rules. I just want to win. I just want to win. And again, that's what politicians do. They can't be trusted in general. So I'm not surprised, but it's still something to behold. Everybody, but while we wait, just want to remind you all to follow me, join me on Patreon. We're going to have an extended conversation at the end of Mamdani's acceptance speech. We're going to jump right over to Patreon to have more conversation. To be part of Patreon, all you got to do is hit the QR code over there. And if you have a problem with that, just go to patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official. I ask you to join me on Patreon so that you can be a financial supporter of the channel. It's how we keep this channel rolling. It's how we do night school during the week. It's how we do the Coffee and Books podcast. It's how we do the Classroom in the Cell. It's how we are able to keep running. It's how I'm able to pay staff. It's how I'm able to stay unbought and unbossed. You want grassroots journalism. You want radical analysis. You want left-wing analysis. You want independent Black media. To do that, we have to support it. And the way to support it here is to go to Patreon and join me and sign up. I'd love if people could get family memberships. But if you can do supporter, or you can do senior producer, whatever you can, or executive producer, please do it. But pick a support level if possible and join me. Again, you can go right up there with the QR code, or you can go right down here, patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official, and we can get right to it. I will be there tonight with extended Q&A, extended analysis, but I'm here every day. The office hours is over there, where we do intellectual deep dives with special guests and towering thinkers. Over there is my a segment called And Another Thing, where I give extended analysis of conversations that I've had on places like Piers Morgan or the Joe Budden podcast, my primary home in the podcast world. Shout out to my family over at the JBP. I also do my my daily, or not daily, but almost daily breakdowns of whatever's in the news cycle. You'll also see classic interviews and conversations. All of it is there, right down there. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official. Heavy DJ said, just join. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you, Heavy DJ. Shout out to anybody who joins the Patreon on any of the paid tiers. I will shout you out right here tonight. Thank you for doing it. Stars like waves, I wave back. We waiting on that. Mamdani. Let's see. He should be up soon. I can't wait to hear what Mamdani says. There's something about him that is interesting and compelling and sincere and charismatic. He seems to be he seems to be the real deal from what I can tell. Now, politicians are politicians. Politicians are politicians. They do what politicians do. So I would not be shocked if we saw a change, and that change may not be for the better. Again, they make concessions. They do a lot of things that I don't love them to do. That's what politicians do. But I don't want to assume that that's what Mamdani is going to do, or that he'll do it in a way that's unprincipled. Somebody said, when will Mamdani speak? Look, I promise you, I'm waiting, patiently waiting. A lot of people are talking. If you go to his headquarters right now, you'll see people. There's a woman at the mic right now who seems to be setting the stage for him to come, but someone came up before that, seemingly setting the stage. Oh, they're calling him up now. I think the man of the hour is here. Shout out to ZZ Ward for the generous donation. We're about to go to the man of the hour. Mamdani. He's coming up to the stage now. Let's catch him right. Thank you, courtesy of C-SPAN.
Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty. I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name as we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few.
They need to play Ether on this shit, yo. This crazy.
New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics, a mandate for a city we can afford, and a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. And that is because of you. So before I say anything else, I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refused to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum. Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point, know this. This city is your city, and this democracy is yours too. This campaign is about people like Wesley, an $11.99 organizer I met outside of Elmhurst Hospital on Thursday night. A New Yorker who lives elsewhere, who commutes 2 hours each way from Pennsylvania because rent is too expensive in this city. It's about people like the woman I met on the BX33 years ago, who said to me, I used to love New York, but now it's just where I live. And it's about people like Richard, the taxi driver I went on a 15-day hunger strike with outside of City Hall, who still has to drive his cab 7 days a week. My brother, we are in City Hall now. This victory is for all of them, and it's for all of you. The more than 100,000 volunteers who built this campaign into an unstoppable force. Because of you, we will make this city one that working people can love and live in again. With every door knocked, every petition signature earned, and every hard-earned conversation, you eroded the cynicism that has come to define our politics. Now, I know that I have asked for much from you over this last year. Time and again, you have answered my calls. But I have one final request. New York City, breathe this moment in. We have held our breath for longer than we know. We have held it in anticipation of defeat. Held it because the air has been knocked out of our lungs too many times to count. Held it because we cannot afford to exhale. Thanks to all of those who sacrificed so much, we are breathing in the air of a city that has been reborn. To my campaign team, who believed when no one else did, and who took an electoral project and turned it into so much more, I will never be able to express the depth of my gratitude. You can sleep now. To my parents, Mama and Baba, you have made me into the man I am today. I am so proud to be your son. And to my incredible wife, Rama, Hayati, there is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment. To every New Yorker, whether you voted for me, for one of my opponents, or felt too disappointed by politics to vote at all, thank you for the opportunity to prove myself worthy of your trust. I will wake each morning with a singular purpose: to make this city better for you than it was the day before. There are many who thought this day would never come, who feared that we would be condemned only to a future of less, with every election consigning us simply to more of the same. And there are others who see politics today as too cruel for the flame of hope to still burn. New York, we have answered those fears. Tonight, we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive. Hope is a decision that tens of thousands of New Yorkers made day after day, volunteer shift after volunteer shift, despite attack ad after attack ad. More than 1 million of us stood in our churches, in gymnasiums, in community centers, as we filled in the ledger of democracy. And while we cast our ballots alone, we chose hope together. Hope over tyranny. Hope over big money and small ideas. Hope over despair. We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible. And we won because we insisted that no longer would politics be something that is done to us. Now it is something that we do. Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt. Central to that vision will be the most ambitious agenda to tackle the cost of living crisis that this city has seen since the days of Fiorello LaGuardia. An agenda that will freeze the rents for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Make buses fast and free. And deliver universal child care across our city. Years from now, may our only regret be that this day took so long to come. This new age will be one of relentless improvement. We will hire thousands more teachers. We will cut waste from a bloated bureaucracy. We will work tirelessly to make lights shine again in the hallways of NYCHA developments where they have long flickered. Safety and justice will go hand in hand as we work with police officers to reduce crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crises head on.
That's called an abolitionist reform. We'll get to it, y'all.
Excellence will become the expectation across government, not the exception. In this new age we make for ourselves, we will refuse to allow those who traffic in division and hate to pit us against one another. In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light. Here, we believe in standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down, or anyone else with their back against the wall, your struggle is ours too. And we will build a city hall that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism. Where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong. Not just in the 5 boroughs of this city, but in the halls of power. No more will New York be a city where you can traffic in Islamophobia and win an election. This new age will be defined by a competence and a compassion that have too long been placed at odds with one another. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about. For years, those in City Hall have only helped those who can help them. But on January 1st, we will usher in a city government that helps everyone. Now, I know that many have heard our message only through the prism of misinformation. Tens of millions of dollars have been spent to redefine reality and to convince our neighbors that this new age is something that should frighten them. As has so often occurred, the billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that their enemies are those earning $20 an hour. They want the people to fight amongst ourselves so that we remain distracted from the work of remaking a long broken system. We refuse to let them dictate the rules of the game anymore. They can play by the same rules as the rest of us. Together, we will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed. New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Talk your shit, youngin'. Let's go.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us. When we enter City Hall in 58 days, expectations will be high. We will meet them. A great New Yorker once said that while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. If that must be true, let the prose we write still rhyme, and let us build a shining city for all. And we must chart a new path, as bold as the one we have already traveled. After all, the conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older. I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this. And yet, if tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. Too many working people cannot recognize themselves in our party. And too many among us have turned to the right for answers to why they've been left behind. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great. Our greatness will be anything but abstract. It will be felt by every rent-stabilized tenant who wakes up on the 1st of every month, knowing the amount they're going to pay hasn't soared since the month before. It will be felt by each grandparent who can afford to stay in the home they have worked for and whose grandchildren live nearby because the cost of childcare didn't send them to Long Island. It will be felt by the single mother who is safe on her commute and whose bus runs fast enough that she doesn't have to rush school drop-off to make it to work on time. And it will be felt when New Yorkers open their newspapers in the morning and read headlines of success, not scandal. Most of all, it will be felt by each New Yorker when the city they love finally loves them back. Together, New York, we're going to freeze the... Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and... Together, New York, we're going to deliver universal... Let the words we've spoken together, the dreams we've dreamt together, become the agenda we deliver together. New York, this power, it's yours. This city belongs to you. Thank you.
34-year-old Zohran Mamdani, the next mayor of New York City, the first Muslim.
Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani. He did it, y'all. He is the mayor-elect of New York City. And he just gave a speech for the ages. I mean, it was perfect. First of all, he came out swinging. He was humble, but he showed he wasn't for play. He said Andrew Cuomo can go back to private life. He said, I hope this is the last time I say your name. He's basically like, look, you can't come at me swinging with xenophobia and racism and all this other shit, accusing me of anti-Semitism and then gaslighting me for it, and then expect me to not acknowledge it. No, he said, you played the game. Next time, play with something safe. And he won. So he put them on the shelf, and then he went into a message of hope. So he started with a little bit of petty, and then he jumped in with the analysis. He jumped in with radical politics. He jumped in explaining all the things that went wrong before. He explained what his opponents tried to do and why it didn't work. But he reminded the people that he didn't win. They won. We won. He gave them hope. He gave them inspiration. He called on them to hold him accountable. He reminded them of the promises that he made and said, I'm going to fulfill them. He talked about this being a city of immigrants. He talked about what it meant for all these people to come together and to show that these people are not just the recipients of his victory, they are the cause of his victory. They are the energy and source of his victory. When he called the people from the different parts of New York and he called out the different immigrant populations and different ethnic populations, he was doing something. When he's shouting out abuelas in bodegas, and he's shouting out, you know, his wife, and he's speaking to the Khaltis in the Muslim community, and he identifies as a democratic socialist. He says, I'm a democratic socialist. Even Bernie don't say it. He might be one, but he don't say it. He did all the things. He was like Obama, but to me, more sincere and more radical in his politics. I get why people love Obama speeches. They're amazing. He's amazing as a speaker. But Mamdani had something else. I'm not saying he's greater than Obama. Relax, y'all. I'm just saying the political vision that he has is more in line with my own. So it resonates with me more. He's speaking to people's hopes and not their fears, like Obama. But he's speaking to some very specific radical policies. And even as he talked about police and policing, contrary to what Cuomo tried to do in his concession speech, where he made it seem like Mamdani was about to bring in a lawless, violent city. He was saying, look, we're going to have order and safety. He talked about a public safety commission. He talked about, not using this language, but he talked about abolitionist reforms. We can make reforms, but they're not going to be reformist reforms because you can't reform this thing. We need abolitionist reforms. He has a radical vision. Now, the rubber meets the road when you govern. Like he said, you're running, you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. But I don't want, I won't allow that to be the excuse for not following through on his promises. So he's going to follow through, or we're going to hold him accountable just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. But he was dropping bar after bar after bar. He was dropping so much that will be quoted. So many quotables in there, man. Pat said it probably better than I did. He's braver than Obama, not constrained by the powers that be. That's how he came across. That's how he came across to me. So anyway, family, woo, what a night. What a night. I'm so grateful that you all hung out with me tonight. I'm so grateful to be having this conversation with y'all. We're going to head over to Patreon in just a second. One more announcement. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Taylor. Prop 50 in California passed, and it passed with very little resistance, very little difficulty. I'm going to pull up the numbers to give you the exact. I had it up here, but the Mamdani speech threw me off. I ain't gonna hold you. I was right there with all the right information, and then it all happened. Yeah, the California Proposition 50, that's the congressional redistricting proposal. If approved, the measure would change California's congressional district boundaries to make it easier for Democrats to flip 5 seats that are now held by Republicans. It was voted yes, 64.6%. Again, it was a landslide in areas like Sacramento, San Francisco, San Jose, Fresno, all the northern stuff. Also, Southern California, strongholds like San Diego and Los Angeles, they both also voted in favor of it. It wasn't really close. I mean, if you would have asked me on my best day what I thought it would pass with, 58%, 55%, somewhere to 55 to 58, this was closer to 65%. I mean, this was a laugher in retrospect. The exact opposite of what we saw in Maine, where new voting restrictions were on the ballot, and they were defeated with 73% of the votes in, 63 to 37. So 63% said no. And again, that's with 73% of the votes in. Virginia Governor Abigail, or the Virginia governor's race, Abigail Spanberger, a former congresswoman, won against the lieutenant governor, Winsome Earl Sayers, Black woman Republican. People thought that was the combo to get it done. It wasn't. And again, Spanberger really gained on all the areas where Kamala Harris campaigned in 2024. That's an indicative of something. I'm not sure what, but it tells us something in terms of hope for maybe the midterm elections if you want to see Republicans pushed out. Nabil Sunna gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Thank you. That's so generous. Thank you. I'm so grateful for your generosity. It means a lot. A Miller 35 said, even if Zohran doesn't accomplish his agenda fully, at least he's a politician brave enough to seek and verbalize radical change. Delthea Simmons just joined the channel. Thank you so much. Casual Sheep Gardener said, do you think Working Families Party could be a vehicle for progressives in the South? How can we do grassroots like Zohran in southern cities? Well, first of all, a Working Families Party, and we've talked about this with the director who comes on Night School here quite often. We've talked about this with him, and Brother Mitchell has said that this is a nationwide project. And so I think you will see progressives in the South mobilizing on this agenda because it's tactical, it's strategic, and it's patient. But again, it's about meeting people's local needs. It's about finding out what people want. It's about finding out what people need, organizing them, and empowering them to work on in their own best interest. I think if you do that, you win. I think it's that simple. I think if you do that, it's that simple. Green Party strong for 2028. So do I. A viable Green Party for the presidential election, I don't know if that's possible by 2028. And I'm a Green Party member. I think the key is to fight like hell in these local elections, these statewide elections, and put forth an important candidate, a powerful candidate in 2028. But somebody who's going to win the presidency in 2028, that may not be the goal. But if you mean getting 5% to get that federal funding, which is what you just put up here, then I'm with you, Bullet the Bunny. I think that is totally possible. I think that is totally possible. People saying Newsom Mamdani in 2028. Unfortunately, Mamdani is not a natural-born citizen. He is a naturalized citizen, which means that he cannot be president of the United States. But he might be governor of New York one day. That is quite possible. Family, I want y'all to meet me over on Patreon right now. Meet me over on Patreon right now. I see a couple more comments coming in, but let's see if we can cover. Okay, yep. Just making sure I ain't forgetting nothing, y'all. Meet me over on Patreon. If you haven't signed up for Patreon right now, I'm asking you, please do. Events like tonight happen because of Patreon. Events or shows like Night School, which is every Monday and Wednesday, happen because of Night School. Or I'm sorry, because of Patreon. All this stuff happens because we have the financial resources necessary to fund the public education, to fund the global classroom, to fund independent media, to fund radical media, to fund grassroots media. To do all of that, we need you there on Patreon. Hit that QR code right up there and join right now. Or look at the bottom of the screen there. Go to patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official. And when you do that, you can sign up for one of the paid levels, from supporter to family to senior producer to executive producer. Please consider signing up right now. Some people are asking if they should be on Patreon and not YouTube. It's okay if you're here on YouTube. I'm not asking to leave YouTube. But if you have to choose between YouTube and Patreon, yes, I would rather you be on Patreon. You still get all the benefits over here. But if you come over to Patreon, you get extended content, extra content, exclusive content. Everything that's on YouTube, you still have access to, but you can also catch up to us on Patreon. And frankly, Patreon gives us a much better deal than YouTube, meaning I get a larger piece of the money, and I have access to your emails and your contacts so that I can send you stuff. I can send you the new book, which you will get if you sign up on the higher levels. You can get access to merchandise, which you'll get for free if you sign up on Patreon at the right level. I can communicate with you directly and not having YouTube and Google interfere and keep your info and not give it to me. But most importantly, I can fund this channel properly. So please come over to Patreon right now, sign up, and we're going to do a quick extended Q&A right over there. In fact, I am going to set it up now so that there is we don't miss a beat. By the way, there's a new exclusive commentary over there. For example, earlier today, I published Dick Cheney is dead. Good. That's the title of the video. Also, I published an exclusive or a classic interview I did with Mobb Deep's Prodigy, as we talk about Jay-Z and the Illuminati and the allegations and what he thinks about that. There's commentary here about Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump. There's commentary here about black quarterbacks. There's commentary here about Cuba and Venezuela. All of it is on not just Night School, but the extended stuff is right here on Patreon. So head over to Patreon right now and check me out. And again, thank you to everybody who has been supporting me over here. Please continue to support. I love you. I appreciate you. But let's head over right now. I'm going up right now. In fact, I'm literally setting it up right now as we speak. And we are going to do a special election edition of After Class. After Class is what we do after Night School. So we got Night School, and then we head over to Patreon for After Class, where we do live Q&A and any other commentary that you have here. Mr. Fundles, thank you so much for your generous contribution. I appreciate you, and thank you for all you do. I'll meet you over on Patreon right now. I'll see you there, family. Peace.